Hey, good evening time, everybody. All right, so we're back here on the workbench, and I thought today we would go ahead and put together a couple of preamps. Um, I sold the orange girl that I had on my Facebook page, but the elderly gentleman would like to have a preamp installed. So, since I don't have any of these already pre-built, I figured we'd go ahead and put a couple of them together. So, get the camera moved up here a little bit. And it's been a while since I've done a live feed. I've been doing a lot more regular videos instead of just the live feeds. Um, but I figured I'd get out here and kind of spend a little time with you guys this evening. Good evening, Mr. Popcorn. Hopefully everything's going good on your end today. Reach over here and get my water. Well, since I'm back on my third shift, the nights are my evening, or the nights are my mornings, and the mornings are my nights. So, yeah, you know how that goes. But well, hello, Three Maid. Yes, preamps do suck. Um, but sup driving. Okay, well, hello, Mr. Donkey Stomper. Chad. Yeah, yeah, preamps suck, and most builders, we do dislike building these. However, on occasions, somebody will talk us into it. Excuse me, talk us into it. But no, I haven't built one of these in quite a while, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, just because, like I said, it's been a while. I figured if I'm going to build one, I might as well build two of them, because it takes just about as much time to build two as it does to build one. So I went ahead and I got all my components out for this, and we're going to go ahead and start putting these together and kind of go from there. But yeah, so yeah, there's multiple different transistors, diodes, and whatever else as far as in order to go ahead and create a preamp. But like I said, we're not going to get into a whole lot of that today. We're just going to, uh, mainly talk about, just talk. That's basically what it amounts to. So we're going to go ahead and, like I said, make a couple of them up. That way, and God forbid, if I've got one that is bad, I can go ahead and just put the other one in and I'm good to go. So, but yeah, I don't know too many builders that enjoy doing these, which now when I first built my first preamp, yes, I was amazed and happy and all that good stuff. And, built probably 20 or 30. And then, once I realized just how much time it took to actually put one of these crazy things together, it's like, man, this sucks. There's just no other way to say it other than they suck. Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I've got a drawer of those as well. They're Three Maid. Where are they at here? Because I know that was a transistor that you and I had talked about. Um, where are they at? Not awful. Oh, there they are. Yeah. So, yeah. So I got some of those, and a couple other various MOSFETs as well. But uh, I moved that drawer around so it'd be easier. But yeah, that's one of the other things too. I've actually thought about using. It's just going back and seeing what all it's going to take to do that. But yeah, I actually had considered the idea, or played with the idea of uh, seeing if I couldn't build a MOSFET version of a preamp. But man, you really have, like I said, you really have no idea what you're going to get into when you start, prototyping different things. So, but I know that what you're wanting to use that particular transistor for 3 is a whole different animal too. Like I said, I mean, I've only got maybe a dozen of those on hand, but let's see here. Pappy Cat likes them preamps. Yeah. Yeah. You got 100 of them on the way. Okay, cool. Well, if you get proficient at it, let me know, and then that way you can save me some time. 'Cause that seems to always be my thing is limited on time. So, all right. So I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head here so that I get everything orientated right. That's always that that's always the $1 million thing there. My fingers are, well, this weather has changed so much. My fingers are getting dried out and can't do a whole lot right at the moment. Let's see here. $71. Oh, bite me. It's more like 17 degrees here. Yeah, these aren't real bad to build, but they can be a pain in the butt. Yeah, you can bite me too, Three Maid. But I know it just has to do with where I live versus where you guys live too. My wife's already complaining, and she hasn't even made it here because she's where she's at. She's almost on the same latitude as I am, over in China, and that's her big thing is she wants warmer weather. So one of the things that she'd asked me when we got married, she asked me about the four seasons. Well, I didn't realize that when you were talking to them, and there again with translations and what have you, which gets kind of interesting there too. Whenever they ask about four seasons, they are referring to, is it all one season, not four separate seasons, as far as your winter, spring, autumn and fall, or something like that. Yeah. Let's see. Well, summer, yeah, summer, winter, autumn, and spring. Okay. There it is. But anyways, yeah, whenever they ask about stuff like that, they're referring to actually one season. Is it all hot or is it all cold? And she wants that. She wants that warm weather year round. You and smelling and sniffing and biting. Well, 3 made everybody needs a translator to talk to you, Bubba. Alrighty. Alright, so usually whenever I build this preamp, as far as this version here, because I mean there's 2 of them, and the other one, it seems to always be a hit and miss. That's the reason why I keep going back to the old standby here. Um, but 2 of the things that I found that are the most important, besides what transistor that you're using, though, is the diode that's in the circuit, which I've kind of switched over to a different diode. I've actually been using the Scotty diodes just because they've got less noise that gets created in the system. So that's the reason why I've been using the Scotty diodes here instead of some of the others. Some people use like a 1N4000. Some people use, oh geez, all different variations. So, I've been trying to stay with stuff that's a little bit more quiet, and it seems to be working out pretty good on that. Like I said, I only build maybe 2 preamps a year, because they work, but they don't work, if that makes any sense. You know, my hands are so doggone dried out with this time of the year that it's hard for my fingers to get things to curl around like I want them to. Good old fingers. You gotta love these things. Jeez. Sounds like I'm getting messages coming in. Have to check that out here in a second. It's pushed into place. See if it's just notifications or if it's actually something important here. Nope. Well, hello, Warren. It's been a while since I've seen you in there pop in. But yeah, for whatever reason, I'm kind of halfway getting back into my normal screwed up routine, if you will. But after getting back to work, one of the things that I did find out, so it may make life a little easier as far as where I'm at, is I guess we're getting ready to get another new guy on my shift, as well as second shift. They're getting another helper as well, so that's going to be kind of nice. I'll start trimming off some of these excess pieces here. Found if we cut off all the little tick turds too, it doesn't create quite as much of what I call an antenna effect as well. Oh, David? Spam text. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, Warren, like I said, I definitely feel for you on that, buddy, because I'm there with you on it. You know, we're always working, it seems like, so. Ah, shoot. That was the wrong capacitor. It's okay. Sat there and looked up and seen what I've got laying up there, and I grabbed the wrong capacitor for right here. It's okay. Let's pull a couple more out of the drawer and go from there. Now, I tried to pull out different color capacitors for different things. That way, mentally it's easier, but yeah, you still make a goof up once in a while. Especially when you're dealing with these small ones here like this. Give me just a second here, guys. Hello? Yeah, I'm currently doing a live feed. Yeah, yeah, I'm live on YouTube. Oh, okay. All righty, thank you. Bye. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I like them when they've got a little bit longer legs like that because I can twist those around and get them where I want them. What doesn't work? Hello, Garen. Are 30-volt boxes against AC boxes? I don't know. No. Dumbass. There we go. And yes, I was calling myself a dumbass. Grabbed up the piece of wire that I'm going to use here. All I ask, guys, is if I do pass away before any of you, please don't let me vote Democrat. Okay, that's my alarm to make sure that I'm up and out of bed. As crazy as what it's been here lately, it's been kind of frustrating. Like I said, just trying to get used to the whole night shift thing again after being off for a couple of months. So I've got multiple alarms set on multiple different devices in multiple locations. That's funny. Well, I know things are supposed to be sealed as far as on that, but at the same time, I think we ought to have a right to be able to go back and look and see what we voted for after the election. uh, I'll definitely have to keep this one saved back to remade. That way, if something does happen to you, that means that I can show that. Hey, look, he said I could have it. Amy wouldn't even know what in the world I'm or what we're looking at even. So, all right. Yeah, the only thing that's kind of frustrating though too is on these preamps though is whenever you go to build one of these, you also have to take into consideration you've got to redo your pass through tune because your pass through tune changes, um, based on all the inductance that's now in line. So you increase your inductance. So that's another one of those things that kind of is a pain in the butt. Grab another piece. I didn't even think about that. Otherwise, I would have. Does that include your radios too, three made? Because I know you've got an extensive collection of Cobra 29s. And usually I'll leave these leads long until I actually get them mounted into the box. Because sometimes you got to make one a little longer than the other, a little shorter than the others. So. Huh, okay. Well, now that may be due to something else too. Um, yeah, I finally hit enough numbers and enough watched hours, and that's also part of the other reason why I wanted to go ahead and do a video here is to explain now that I know that that's popping up. If you guys do see that from time to time, don't be too alarmed or too concerned. What it amounts to is I am now monetized. So I've got enough watched hours. So I got to thank everybody for that. But we have enough watched hours now that we are monetized. So now I can, if I decide to, I can do like a super chat or something like that. So, to me, that's going to be kind of cool because we can do all kinds of neat stuff. So we finally got enough watched hours and we got enough videos up and all that good stuff. 'Em. And I'll try to get some things changed as I go along. Like I said, it's going to be all new because I've got to relearn an entire format here with with the YouTube now that we've gone into that. So 4,000. Yeah, yeah, you have to have over 4,000 hours, and I've been hanging there at 3,000 and something for a very, very long time. So now that I've actually got, like I said, enough time in, now I can, actually start progressing forward, instead of staying in that stagnant point. So yeah, when you're a little bitty guy like me, it takes a long time to, reach those numbers and everything. But I think some of the, I think shouldn't say some, but I think a lot of it too is where I've been doing a lot more little short clips and what have you. That's actually uh, played a part in that too. So well, good evening, Mr. Carlock. And 390, Mr. Wagon Master. Good evening, guys.
time for work.
Let's see if we got any good scraps here. I'm going to put our little shorting bar in there because it's a whole lot easier to do it now than it is any other time. All right, well, that part's done. Let's see. Yeah, building preamps. Well, if you can't see, give me just a second here. Let's hit the zoom on the camera. There, that should be better. I'll just have to remember to stay within my little block here so that you guys can see. Well, depending on what you're using as far as the oscilloscope for, um, there's some basic features that I can show you on that. Dylan Maxwell. Hey, that actually even works. See, that was something else too that never did work as far as like the little hearts and stuff like that. So now I've got different things that are actually going to work where I can kind of see that off to the side too. All right, so now we got those placed on there. Now we can finish doing our hookups here. And should be in this format here. And that would be my wife. I recognize that tone right off the bat. She's got her own personal ringtone. She went up and spent time with her daughter, or my stepdaughter, depending on how you look at it. So, get that soldered in place here real quick, and then I'll answer the wife here real quick. Yeah, I know a lot of people, they can just twist this stuff together, throw it on there, and have it built in like 5 minutes. And yeah, it works just as good. But I kind of like to have my whole format set up to where I can see, oh, okay, well, this is what's wrong, or that's what's wrong. I don't have to fight it a whole lot. That's the wife here, real quick. Okay, so I hit translate. And it translated it from Chinese to Chinese. Okay, so that makes sense. Let's see what little clip she sent me. Okay, apparently they've got some kind of a special or something going on. Some of these guys are carrying the American flags too. Okay. I just wished I could actually translate it into English. Okay, so I'm almost done. I've got a, sorry, had it up too far. So we've only got really one connection left to make, other than to, put our power leads and stuff on it. But go ahead and get that piece there trimmed off. But yeah, I've started building the preamps instead of the little 1 or 2 amp relays. I've started using the 8 amp relays for these as well, just mainly because of the fact that, well, it's one less relay that I'd have to carry. And I'm still going to keep a couple of the 2 amp relays on hand, just because there are certain circumstances where it just makes more sense to use. All right, so grab a 2 amp relay, that way you guys can kind of see the differences. All right. So that's the difference in size, and it just makes life easier to build these preamps using the little bit bigger relay. Plus, they can handle a lot more power. Not that you need it on the preamp side, but as far as the pass through, it can handle a lot more. So that's what's kind of nice about that. Yes, actually, I do sell a lot of what most everything that I build is for sale or has already been sold. I do take orders, but I am actually out of room as far as taking anything else in for for this year, which I mean, we don't have much time left. But yeah, most everything that you see that I build here is either available for sale or has already sold. For example, the preamp that we're working on today, one of them is sold because it's going into used amplifier that I had already built that I had for sale. And like I said, the elderly gentleman wanted a preamp, so and there are some people that you cannot talk them out of it, so I didn't even try. All right, so we got that part all done. Yep. Yeah, some people are hard headed. Love you too, honey. So, what is currently going on now? See if she can tell me about that little video clip. Like I said, I've seen some of them that are waving American flags, and granted, they're supporting their own country too, which is good. We all should support our own country. All right, so generally, whenever I build a preamp, this is what it looks like when it's all said and done. It looks well, looks pretty scaled down compared to some of the others. Some of the others that you're going to see. I just you can buy pre-made boards and all different variations and what have you. But I mean, I still build everything, quite literally by hand. Um, I would like to go ahead and start doing some of this as far as onto circuit boards, and that's something that I'm, you know, looking into doing. eventually, uh, I've got I've only got one left. Anyways, I usually keep these back just for kicks and grins because sometimes I've got people that, they have a preamp that they have me pull out or what have you. And, it's a whole different format. But, anyways, usually, like I said, I'll go ahead and I'll keep something like this from time to time, just to kind of show people just, how much stuff goes into different peoples and formats and what have you. This one's actually a really simple version as well. It's a little different, but it does the same. It does the same thing. But so there's multiple different variations and types and what have you. Again, this is a hand built one that somebody had made that I pulled out of an amplifier, mainly because I think it was quit working, and they said it just drew in too much noise. Imagine that. But like I said, I like to keep stuff like this on hand just for reminiscence, or to see if maybe I can even improve on my design. Like I said, this is one of the cleanest ones that I've seen in a very, very long time. But yeah, so there's all different ways of doing it. All the way around. There's all different ways. A lot faster. Well, and that's part of the reason why, and I keep one of these already pre-built, mainly because the fact that, I spent several hours to sit down and kind of figure out a layout to make my life easier to build these. So I keep this one pre-built just so that I can go back and go, oh, okay, yeah. Because once you figure out how to lay everything down, again, it makes life a lot easier. So that's the reason why it looked as easy as what it is. Let's see here. What did the wife say? Honey, it only translates back to Chinese. Sometimes it's easier just to say okay to the wife and call it a day. All right. But yeah, I also use different types of capacitors as far as for the input and the output of these, and I've found that different variations um, also help calm down some of the crazy noise that you get, so that you can actually quiet it down. That's the reason why some people will use the silver dip micas, which I've used those. I've used Mylars. I've used tantalum, or not necessarily tantalums, but ceramics, um, polyesters. But I've played with all different types of variations because different types of capacitors being used in the circuit actually change. Even if it's the same value, just changing the materials change how the preamp work and react. So, it's kind of cool. So, Donkey Stomper, do you sell CB stuff? Yeah, yeah. Chad sells stuff too. He's a builder just like me. But yeah, once I get things caught up, Chad, I probably will. Because I've had a few other people that's asked for those. I probably will sit down and build up a few different preamps. And have some of them on hand. Like I said, I think on those, like I said, I think I'm going to get away from using the traditional little 2 amp relays that we always used for preamps, because it just makes it easier to use the 8 amp relays. Plus I buy these 100 or so at a time. So these I only buy maybe 10 at a time. I mean, they still have their uses and they still work great for preamps and things like that. But it also makes it easier to build a preamp on the little bit bigger relay, and you're only looking at $1 more. So yeah, like I said, I'd just rather start building one out. Like I said, I've started doing that here about a year or so ago, and I think that's the way I'm gonna start doing it. Okay, let me get rid of whatever's popped up here. There we go. So yeah, we still got time. I haven't had any breakfast yet, but I think what I'm gonna do is just pick up some breakfast on my way into work tonight. I had kind of a late dinner yesterday, so I'm not real super hungry yet. I built this several years ago and used it for a couple of years here on the workbench for my base station amp. And like I said, had a guy buy it. It's the only one of its kind. But I've also experimented on this amplifier several times over the course of me running it. So you're going to see some chicken tracks inside this one. I'm going to get the fan out of the way here. So this guy, a 2-pill. Yeah, I do have 2 pills actually ready to go. Yeah, I've got a couple different variations of 2 pills. If you're looking for something with sideband, I've got that. If you're looking for the Evolution series, I've got that in a 2-pill. Just a straight Class C. Had Billy's Steak and Egg Cheese, Jersey Mike's. Yep, I do have several. I do have several of the small amplifiers. I did sell the 2x6 yesterday, so the 2x6 is gone. I did have one of those that was already pre-built. I've sold most of the stuff that I've built up over the last couple of months that I've been off. Most everything's been sold. But I do still have several 2 pills. I've got some more 4 pills that I've got started when I can get back to them, but I've got repairs that have to be done first. So repairs come first, and then I go from there. You need a 320. Yeah. Yeah, I know which one you're referring to on that big guy. I think it was like 392. I I don't even think I'd even want to tackle such a project. I mean that's almost an absurdity. When you stop and think about that. Yeah, Chad, it would take two of us to actually sit there and put one of those together. Good Lord. Yeah. How many thousand feet are we going to order on the Teflon wire? Jeez, oh Pete. Could you just imagine? There's some of this little piddle stuff here out of my way. Yeah, yeah, just keep combining 64 pill amps until we get there. Clone them, yeah. Yeah, I would like to see that too through made. Yeah, that, like I said, that's kind of insane. All right, so yeah, we're gonna actually remove the delay in this. I don't know if it's a little bitty tip. May have to change out. Because he doesn't care about the delay that I've got in there. Okay, so put that right back there. Wire that in. But yeah, like I said, depending on what you guys are interested in, like I said, I've still got several 2 pills left. I do have one 4 pill biased mobile amp ready to go. And if I was on my phone camera, I could take you guys over to the other section there, and we could kind of go through that. But like I said, right now the only thing I've got. Oh, I do still have 2 of the Evolution 1 pills. I still have 2 of those that are also available. If anybody's interested for Christmas gifts for anybody. I know Mr. Carlock's got one, and if I wasn't trying to think of his handle, I could tell you. He's actually a local for me. Isn't that awful? Can't think of his name right at the moment. Wild Bill. He's got one. course, Gary down in Florida, he's got one. He's actually got the original first one. But his is, his is also one of a kind because his is the one I built 2 years ago. I finally got back to that project, but his is the very first one that I built for the 9/11 giveaway. And ironically enough, when I finally had time to get back to those, we were right around the 9/11 era again this year. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm going to need a small piece of ground wire here. Now, 3 Main, I know you build 8-pill amplifiers, you know. Generally, the biggest I typically build is 16 myself. 16 usually is about as big as I normally go. But a lot of it's just whatever somebody orders. That's actually the biggest, that's the biggest thing right there is it's, based on what somebody orders, as to what I build. Power supplies, I'll build as big a power supply as you want. Most everybody seems to love the power supplies that I build. I kind of like that Colossal that I did here earlier, which that one actually, had a home in mind whenever I built it, which it's, it was built for the shop. So it sits underneath the desk. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, that'll give me just enough room to tuck that back behind there. Give me a second here and I'll zoom the camera out just a little bit. Well, you guys can see more of what I'm working on here instead of where we're at. Yeah, back many years ago, because I had so much going on back here. I actually used a mounting tab back here in order to go ahead and create my ground for my pass-through tune. So I went ahead and just hooked that back up. I'm trying to keep these leads as short as we can. That's the reason why, like I said, I did what I did as far as keeping those long, just so that if I need them, I can make them just a fraction longer. But the shorter you keep these, the better it works. There we go. And normally I'd just set it straight up on top, but this one I put one of those big 30 amp relays in there, so that starts eating up a lot of my extra room. Okay, I do have an antenna hooked up to the workbench, but we gotta rewire the switch here on the other end, because that was designed for delay. So we're not using a delay anymore. We'll remove the capacitor that we had in there for the delay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that gets kind of tedious as far as, like, for example, building the preamps and stuff like that. I kind of actually enjoy doing the stuff like that. I mean, I don't really like building preamps per se, but I do enjoy actually doing some of the tedious work like this. So, all right, now we've got that changed over there. Get that out of there. Let's see. Bear with me here, guys. I got to figure out where I got stuffed as far as my little jumper that I use. Thought I just pushed it up underneath here the other day. Yeah, but yeah, all these coaxes that you see, these all represent different types of test radios. So I've got like I got 5 different types of test radios here on the bench, that give me, different actions, reactions on boxes and what have you. So, all right, well, I can't find what I want. I'll just grab one of these big ones. It'll still do the same thing. It's just longer. Oh, of course, now I find it. It's right where I wasn't expecting to put it. Okay. Power supply is on. Let's see what radio is lit up. And since we're not going to be drawing any real current, I'm just going to use a little 10 amp power supply here to turn it on, because all we need to do is make sure that the preamp's actually working. So I'm going to set my voltage up here. There we go. All right. So I'm hooked up to the Cobra 29 up here. And get the camera to get in on it. Bear with me here. Okay, so preamp on. Let's see if we can find somebody to talk to. About two S units. Barely hear that guy. So it's working like it should. Working like it should. And it's clean. I mean, yes, it's going to bring in the noise, but it's clean noise at the same time. So we can find somebody else out here. Now we've got some locals there at RM22. Yeah. All righty. Well, like I said, we know it works. That's the main thing. Let's see. I have air now. Yep. No, I got to go back and check that yet 3 made as far as that goes. I mean, I went ahead and hooked up the original capacitor that I had, but yeah, we'll do a pass through. We'll do a pass through check here in just a second. My big thing is I want to make sure that the functionality of the preamp was good. We don't need power hooked up. I'm not going to grab my real sophisticated meter. I'm just going to grab the Rig Expert. So bear with me here while I'm hooking that up, and I'll grab my little dummy load here. Yeah, I bought one of these used on eBay a few years back because of the fact that I've got one that I've got hooked up with a T connector in it, and I didn't want to have to constantly change back and forth. But that little Teledyne that I've got there, that thing back whenever I bought it 28 years ago, they were $100. I think they were $140. $140. 25 years ago for the same model. All right. So SWR chart. Let's do SWR meter. That's nice and simple. All right, so we got a 1.28. So we'll probably have to increase that just a little bit. It's close enough we could probably let it go, but let's see if we add like 10 puff to the circuit. I mean, once you start adding so much more into it, it really changes the attributes of it. So get this down here out of the glare. So that's 1.14. Once I know how much capacitance to add to what's already there in the circuit, we can get a good connection there. 1.1. .06, 05, 06. All right, so I would say that that's going to be a winner. All right, so I'll leave that cap out. I'll take my measurement with that cap and that other one added into it, and then I'll put the right size cap in the circuit, and we'll call that a day. So since this isn't a 16 pill where we're driving, a 4 pill or a 2 pill through it or anything like that, or what have you, something like this will be fine. For some of your bigger boxes, especially if you're driving like 1,000, 2,000 watts through your other amplifier, it is best to use a bigger capacitor for your pass-through tune. I have seen this firsthand. Never really gave it much thought. However, I was down at Donkey Stompers, and there is a point where you're actually better off to use a doorknob for your pass-through tune. I know that for a fact. Don't we, Chad? So yeah, like I said, the little caps, they work great for small amplifiers, but you go into some of the bigger boxes, 16 pill, 32 pill, anything that you're using a fairly large driver, make sure you use a doorknob. All right, guys. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll pull that out. We'll get a measurement on it, and I'll get that replaced. That way we can get this boxed up here probably tomorrow and get this shipped out to the customer. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the little time here. Like I said, I just want to get in here with you guys and just spend some time out here in the shop, and like I said, just kind of enjoy the day with you guys. So, All right, everybody, take care. Have a great day. I'm going to be off to work here in just a few minutes. So we'll see you on the next live feed. Oh, by the way, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. And if you would, check us out on Patreon.